spiritual service, helping you to complete with your life negativity. Withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you, aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything.
Nithyanandam. Welcome back to all of the viewers who are joining us for today's program as we are moving more and more towards the live Parashakti Akashic reading at 10 p.m. IST today. And I hope every single one of you is sharing this with all of your friends, your family, and ensuring that everyone who is interested in the very least and wants to have the divine blessings of Devi Parashakti in your life, and you can make sure that you share this link with everyone and anyone that you know. The Devi Parashakti Akashic reading is at 10 p.m. IST and 9:30 a.m. PST. Make sure that you are tuning in and you're staying tuned for the live Parashakti Akashic reading. Now we're moving into the next segment in today's program, the continuation in the series of presentations on the persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And in so many different ways, we've heard the stories of survivors of child sexual abuse, the stories of survivors of brutal assault and rape, the stories of survivors who have literally seen their homes just light up in flames and need to be kicked out onto the streets. And in each of these instances, it is not just an attack against one adinam, one monastery, one person, or even if you say it's an attack against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, still it is an attack against Hinduism in its entirety. Hinduism for the last 1,000 years has been under continuous series of attacks and is literally going through genocide after genocide. And today, the dying population of Hindus is extremely alarming. But we have to ask ourselves, why are the bells not ringing? The number of Hindus in Pakistan is slowly dwindling to less than 1%. And even officials do not know how many Hindus are actually living there and continuously who are being attacked and needing to flee. And the Hindus in Afghanistan, Hindus in Bangladesh, Hindus in Malaysia, in every single country that was once a Hindu desha, Hindu country, the Hindus are under attack. They're continuously facing violence by different anti-Hindu forces and supremacist forces. And the population of Hindus is dwindling, is dying, and is becoming more and more vulnerable. We have to ask ourselves, why isn't an alarm going off inside of each and every one of us? Why aren't the bells ringing that Hinduism is dying, that Hinduism is actually losing its numbers, losing its existence slowly in the world? We have to be disillusioned by the reality that we are living in. We have to be disillusioned by whatever idea that we have that Hinduism is still alive and that it is still in its most authentic form. We have to understand that it has gone far from what it once was, and it's losing its origins, losing its roots. Today, we are going to be presenting to each and every one of you what's happening in the heart of the Hindu civilization in India itself, in Madurai, one of the most prolific and most powerful centers for Hinduism, an epicenter for the ancient Hinduism that is still alive today, at least in the infrastructure. And one of the longest surviving, the first and the longest surviving Hindu ecosystems that exist today. The Kailasa Dvadashanta Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam was established in the midst of time by Lord Paramashiva and later revived by Devi Meenakshi and Lord Sundareshwara, who as deities and the incarnates of Sri Paramashiva ruled over the kingdom of Madurai. And we're going to be analyzing and understanding the persecution that happened against this ancient indigenous Hindu kingdom. Devi Meenakshi, Lord Sundareshwara, and the Tirujnana Sambandar, or the Guru Parampara of this ancient lineage of the Madurai Adinam of the Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Pita, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam on the 29th of April in 2012. This grand and ancient lineage, starting from Meenakshi herself and Paramashiva in the form of Sundareshwara, and then revived by Sri Tirujnana Sambandar in later years, and then after that, an unbroken lineage of Guru Mahasannidhanams who had ruled literally as the leaders of the sovereign kingdoms in India, in Bharata, in the Hindu Desha. As you can see here, we have all of the preceding Guru Mahasannidhanams as a lineage who are predecessors of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And each of them worshipped and revered as sovereign leaders of the kingdom of Madurai, the kingdom of the Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam. Yes, and here is the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam, the Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, and finally the lineage being passed down to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself on the 29th of April 2012. Now, I also have joining with me Nithya about how the entire narrative of Madurai had happened. And I'd just like to welcome Ma Atmapriya Swami to the panel.
Nithyananda. Yes, so as we were narrating the glory and history of the ecosystem, the kingdom of Madurai, you could see these pictures which are actually displayed, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, His Divine Holiness, was declared as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shyamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, the Madurai, the oldest papal state and the monastic kingdom, at the age of 34 on 27th of April 2021. You can see the 292nd Pontiff who is coronating His Divine Holiness and giving him the staff, the traditional staff of Meenakshi to His Divine Holiness on the 27th of April 2012.
And actually, Ma, I'd like if you can just describe it. Actually, I remember from our previous conversations about the glory of the Madurai Adinam and the coronation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, that you actually had mentioned how the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam actually saw and declared the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as an incarnation of Sri Tirujnana Sambandar himself. Could you just share a little bit more about that and about how what that means really to the whole world, what that means in the history of Hinduism, that Guru Mahasannidhanam is declaring this for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism?
Yeah, yes. So it was way back in 2012 when some of the disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had met the 292nd Pontiff. And after a while, he had actually told that he got a dream, and Paramashiva had literally told that Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is going to be his successor of the Madurai Adinam. And literally, it is blessings of Paramashiva and Meenakshi herself to have Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 293rd Pontiff of Guru Mahasannidhanam. So this was what exactly he had actually told in all the media, in the press, and that is after which he came to Adi Kailasa Sarvagya Peetham. He met the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and he coronated him in both places, in Adi Kailasa and in Madurai. These are the pictures, as you had said, I remember very clearly. So he came to our Adi Kailasa Sarvagya Peetham, where this is the picture which is projected over here, and also in Madurai when he coronated him, saying that he had a dream and revelation to him that the Supreme Pontiff is an incarnation of Tirujnana Sambandar, and this has happened only by the blessings of Paramashiva and Meenakshi.
And here we have a photograph of the immediate lineage of all of the four predecessors of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and it is going from the five pontiffs back until the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So we have each and every one of Guru Mahasannidhanam.
Yes, so these are the pictures you could see. The aftermath of the coronation of His Divine Holiness as the 293rd Pontiff of the Madurai Kingdom. So he literally walked the streets with the 292nd Pontiff, and he met each and every person in the street, and every day he used to go to the Meenakshi temple and heal people who have come to the Adinam and offer Annadan to more than 5,000 people per day. So that was the beautiful contribution after the coronation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Yes, and as we can see here, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, after having been coronated, is visiting the Madurai temple with the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam. And after this, he had done so much to revive and to bring back life into the Madurai Adinam, whether it is the reconstruction of the reconstruction and repair work around the Madurai Adinam, around this ancient heritage, or giving free food every single day, or reviving the ancients, such as the Jnanapal. With Atmapriya Swami, would you be able to even tell, I think even yourself, you had served as one of the doctors in the medical camps that were going on. Could you tell a little bit more about what kinds of services that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was spearheading there, and how was the reaction? How many people came to Madurai Adinam, came to the SSJP or the Shamala Pita Sarvagya Peetham every day? And what was, like, if you can give us a picture, like what was a day in the life of Madurai when Swamiji was there?
Yes, so when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was there in Madurai, so literally in terms of Annadan, I could see around more than 200 volunteers were staying in campus in the Shamala Pita Sarvagya Peetham, and we were cooking and serving pure sattvic organic food in the Madurai Adinam, and per day, like for one meal. So we used to give 3 meals 24/7. So it is not only limited to 3 meals. Anytime anyone walks in, they can actually have a full meal, a fulfilled meal. So minimum 1,000 to 2,000 people, they enter the campus. And they have a fulfilled meal. And the beauty was the crime rate. So the local police officer, he came one day to have the darshan of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and he said that literally the crime rate of the whole area had reduced because the theft, the robbery was the high level in that area just because they didn't have food. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated right after 2 months, the whole crime rate has decreased. And even I was a witness to that when the police officer was actually sharing it with the devotees and the Supreme Font of Hinduism itself. So that was the level of enriching just in terms of Annadan, which was done in the Shamalapeta Sarvajna Peetham when the Supreme Font was coronated. So later, when in the medical camp. So I was also part of the medical camp, and almost 3 medical camps were conducted with a team of more than 50 doctors in more than 10 to 12 specialities, in various specialities, and around more than 10,000 people around the whole area near the Shamlapeta Sarvajna Peetham were actually benefited by the medical camp. So, and the Supreme Pontiff also had a huge vision of building a big hospital, a multi-speciality hospital in the Shamlapeta Sarvajna Peetham. So that was in regards to the contribution in terms of medical facilities and medical camp. Yes, ma'am.
Amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like as yourself serving in these medical camps? How were the patients? How did they really feel about Swamiji holding these medical camps, and how many people in the medical camps also were benefited in the surrounding area?
Yes. So as I actually mentioned, more than 10,000 to 15,000 people were benefited in each medical camp. So we had conducted more than 3 to 5 medical camps. So the people, like the basic food and medicine is what people are yearning for. So that was fulfilled, and the early diagnosis. Not only that, so even if they had any diagnosis of any disease or any problem, the next day they used to come to the Supreme Court of Hinduism, take his darshan during the Sarva darshan and get it healed. So this was a huge service was actually offered in the Shamalapeta Sarvajna Peetham when the medical camp was actually conducted, and we had a team of more than 50 doctors, all of them who were initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff, and everyone, like literally, not only the doctors, we had more than 100 volunteers in the medical camp who had come over there and distributed free medicines. So whoever came to the medical camp received free medicines for whatever problem and medical illnesses they were actually facing.
Wonderful. So actually, in addition, as you can see here, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had gone and visited so many of the surrounding temples, and the Madurai Adhinam actually being one of the oldest heritage adhinams and monastery complexes of this entire area, was in charge, if I'm right, of different and the Adhinam. So as a part of this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had visited these temples, had initiated so many repair projects, not just repair, but recovery, reconstruction, and had initiated even volunteers coming from all over the world in order to begin the restoration of these ancient heritage. And these are some of the oldest temples in the area, if I'm right. So can you tell us a little bit about the restoration projects that Swamiji had spearheaded at this time, and he even led and started to do the same, like lead all the volunteers in restoring. We have footage of that, which is an amazing thing. If you can describe that, Ma, we'd really like to know about these restoration projects that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism spearheaded at this time.
Yeah, so actually there are 4 temples which are a part of the Madurai Adhinam. We can see the Kanchanam, the Kachanur temple, and 2 more temples which are a part of the Madurai Adhinam. So the Supreme Pontiff, actually, he physically visited all these 4 temples. These are the ancient temples which are a part of the Madurai Adhinam, the Shamalapeta Sarvajna Peetham. So he literally, we can also see few visuals and pictures of how Supreme Pontiff, He physically was there. He was physically cleaning each and every pillar and each and every statue, each and every deity inside the temple. And he was literally supervising the whole temple area. So literally sitting there and monitoring and cleaning the whole temple. And he was actually an intense part of the cleaning process and the revival process of the all four temples. So that is what is the video which we are watching here. So he went, not only visited the temples, he was actually on ground. He just did the work. I don't know, I don't have words to say, but literally I was also a part of the project.
Right. So we do have footage of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself cleaning the temples. I think we just have to, that would be amazing to show that footage in particular. Yes. I think now we have to stop the screen share and then we can start. Yes, we can just show that video of the Supreme Pontiff of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, spearheading the project of restoration in Madurai. And we're doing this. We're understanding about this is because the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had literally visited temple by temple, had literally shown so many different heritage sites to the whole world, brought the Shamanapita Sarvagnapitam to the international audience. And from all over the world, volunteers had literally signed up to come to start and join in on these projects. And there was, as you can see here, these are some of the temples where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself led the restoration projects. And these temples, if you have an estimate of how old these temples are, I'm quite sure that they're some of the oldest temples in the area, even. These temples, such as the Kanjanur temple and in Kanchanam, the temples there are some of the oldest temples that are in the area, as well, of course, and are all under the purview, under the responsibility of the Madurai Adinam itself. So that's why, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, he himself went and not even visited, he himself went to these temples, led the projects, led these massive restoration projects. As you can see here, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself directing the whole team for the restoration of this temple, and he himself cleaning, going and cleaning the deities, going and cleaning the cobwebs off of the temple pillars. All of this really shows the amount of contribution that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was determined to do, and not only that, what he was successfully doing. These temples for hundreds of years did not even see how the basic running, and were not even able to meet in many ways the basic levels of running and sanitation, cleanliness, and many of the temples were degraded. Many of the temple constructions were slowly falling apart due to so much of air pollution, due to so much of different effects of time happening on the temple construction. And due to this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism saw it necessary, absolutely necessary, to ensure that these projects are underway and happening, and therefore he himself went and cleaned these temples, as you can see here. Now, the very why we are showing this, and the very astonishing fact is then, despite having contributed so much, shown in so many different ways, the amount of restoration he was doing, the amount of contribution he was doing, how, as Mahatma Priya Swami had mentioned before, literally the crime rates in the surrounding area of the Kailasa, the Shamanapita Sarvagnapitam, had decreased, and 10,000 people in the surrounding areas were continuously being benefited It's not a joke to be able to do this kind of good to the people. And people around Madurai were celebrating the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continuously, always visiting the temple, visiting Madurai temple when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had graced and received the blessings of Devi Meenakshi. Every single morning there would be a procession to the Devi Meenakshi Madurai, the main temple of Madurai, and both the 292nd Guru Mahasannidhanam and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam would go to the temple to receive the darshan of Devi Meenakshi. And at that time, literally crowds of people would be gathering around just to have a glimpse, the blessings, and seek the guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So in this way, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given so much has contributed so much to the Madurai Adinam, to Madurai itself. It's not a joke to be able to say that 10,000 people in the surrounding areas were continuously being benefited. As you can see here, as I mentioned, the Pontiff of Hinduism going to the temple to receive the darshan, and like this, going to every single temple. And not only that, the programs that were being offered when Ma Atmapriya Swami joins us back, we'll see how the programs that were ongoing continuously in the Madurai and in the surrounding areas were also benefit people. Programs about how to live a conflict-free life, how to overcome anxiety and fear, and how to really be able to live life powerfully. So as you can see, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, along with the temple administrators, the leaders of the community, who are also discussing and speaking about the activities, the social, spiritual activities that are going on in the temple, the benefits that is reaching the people, and so many other issues that are concerning the temple, including the regular attendance and the regular treatment and of the pujacharyas, the worship, the rituals, everything. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism would be consulted for his guidance by the temple administrators and the leaders of the surrounding area. Yes. We'll be understanding next. About sorry for that technical glitch. Now in the next few minutes, we'll be understanding about, despite having successfully transformed this indigenous kingdom, revived this indigenous kingdom of the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, even though he had revived this, the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had literally been undergone so much of attack over the course of just a few weeks. More than 50 petitions and 50 cases were filed against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in acts of abhorrent, incessant lawfare, making up absolutely baseless allegations that would go out onto the media and then have massive campaigns of hate speech against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We'll now be understanding how the attacks against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism ensued in the following month after a very quick break.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment time. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are. Because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost.
Yes, Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam, once again, welcome back to all of the viewers. And just as a recap for what we have been through, what we have discussed so far with Mahatma Priyananda Swami, is the amount of contribution, the amount of successful revival of this ancient Hindu indigenous kingdom that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had done in a very short amount of time. I think just within 1 month, if I'm right, Mahatma Priya Swami, that within 1 month, the entire Adinam had just been transformed. And again, whether it is the Annadan, the medical camps, the restoration projects, not only inside of the Madurai Adinam, but also in temples across this area. So in just a short amount of time, immediately after the Kailashwan, the Shamanapita Sarvagnapitam, the coronation that happened on the 29th of April in 2012, immediately after that, in record-breaking amount of time, there was so much activity, so much celebration, so much of good that was happening for the area, for the people, and ultimately for Hinduism. And it was, and even now seeing the pictures, as you can see, there are all of these different projects, all of these different even the satsangs that Swamiji had literally daily been conducting, and the darshans. I believe that every single day, as you can see, Sarva Darshan was happening. So if Ma'am Atmapriya Swami can just briefly describe what is Sarva Darshan and what the people that came even for Sarva Darshan.
Yes, so all the localites of the Madurai kingdom, so who are living in and around the temple, and all the people, the local public, they literally used to visit the Madurai Adinam. So earlier, before the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was before coronation, so all of them used to come to the temple, but it was after when Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated, literally around every day, around 1,000 people used to come take the darshan. The Sarva Darshan is the darshan with the Supreme Pontiff used to actually meet the public. He used to listen to their problems, heal them literally by talking to them and giving them the spiritual healing. So these are the various picture which we could see. So literally, at least all the people in the local Madurai kingdom, that whole place would have been benefited by this Sarva Darshan, which is literally free. And he used to, there are a lot of miracles had happened. He used to literally heal each and every one who come there by giving them the free healing, talking to them and attending each one of them individually through the Sarva Darshan. So that is what we could see actually in all these pictures in the Shamlapita Sarvajnapeetham, which happened right in 2012. So people used to flock in crowds just to see his face, even if they didn't even have a touch. At least they wanted to come and see his face to see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. These are the various pictures which we could actually see.
And also here, the tradition of Jnanapal that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had revived. Can you explain a little bit about that, about how, what was the tradition and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revived it?
Yes, actually, in the Hindu tradition, in the Vedic heritage, it is a symbolic offering of the wisdom to people. So that is when it started with the great saint Jnana Sambandar, when he had the breast milk of Devi Parashakti, and he literally experienced that oneness, the superconscious breakthrough in him. The same tradition was actually revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and you can see those pictures in Shamalapita Sarvajnapeetham offering the enlightening milk, which is called as the Jnanapal, to all the visitors, to all the pilgrims, to all the devotees who visited the ashram here. Both the 292nd and the 293rd pontiffs are actually having the enlightening milk, and they're distributing it to their visitors and the pilgrims. So it is a symbolic offering of wisdom to all the people. So that is the heritage and the tradition of the Shamalapita Sarvajnapeetham.
Yes, and amazing. As you can see, so it's not just the amount of things he was contributing, the Annadan, the medical camp, but even the sacred traditions, the revival of these sacred traditions that were lost so many thousands of years ago, that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was reviving and distribute and giving to the public. And that just that sacred sentiment, literally once again, is like Meenakshi was living among them again, living in Madurai once again. And as you can see in the photos and everything, it literally how Queen Meenakshi attended to her people in her kingdom. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was attending every single day and reviving the community, reviving this ancient indigenous Hindu kingdom. And after that, if you see the incessant attacks, the amount of extreme that the anti-Hindu militant forces had gone to ensure that what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was doing, the amount of good that he was doing, was stopped or needed to be stopped. And even though today we can say that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has now started again the amount of contributions that he's doing in an absolutely new breakthrough way. No, at that time in 2012, there was an onslaught of attacks against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by anti-Hindu militant forces that had really been invested in ensuring the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism needed to be eliminated first he should, many of them had been, had started lawfare that would basically, which are basically false cases that would try to gain the public opinion on the against the appointment of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam. So in so many different ways, they're literally making up lies, making up just out of thin air, making up lies about what's going on inside of the Adinam, portraying that using the media, which they own, the anti-Hindu forces own the media, using the media in order to portray that to the public and to illegally move their lawfare cases against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So, Atmapriya Swami, if you can just brief us on a little bit about what were the lawfares, the cases that were filed against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism that were absolutely baseless, that allegations were just so atrocious. If you can share your insider point of view on that and share that with the viewers, please.
Yes, so actually you could see here, after the coronation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, around the Hindu leaders from more than 53 organizations, they had actually pledged their support to the Supreme Pontiff as the 293rd Pontiff. But on the 10th of May 2012, so if you see, a false case, a lawfare was actually filed by an unknown anti-Hindu militant who actually he filed a case that the appointment of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the 293rd Pontiff is illegal. So that was the first illegal attack which started. So it continued on the 12th of May 2012, where you can see a false complaint claimed to have visited the Madurai Adinam on the night of 12th May, that he was served holy water spiked with intoxicants, and that he has reached an inebriated state, and in front of him His Divine Holiness and several women were in compromising position on beds made of white tiger skins and elephant tusks. So this is what is the most stupidest of the case which was filed, because I was a witness and I was an inmate there, right in Madurai Adinam, doing all these services. So this was a brutal false case which was filed against, stating that women, like all the women are dressed inappropriately inside there, and they are seen in compromising position on the beds with men, and there is a tiger skin and elephant tusk there in the Adinam, and women are doing prostitution. And one of the guys called Sole Kannan, he said he had seen all these things happening right in front of his eyes there inside the Adinam. So this was the atrocious attack, especially saying calling all the sannyasis by names as prostitutes. So that was the attack on the women, like especially even myself and so many other sannyasis who were there were personally attacked by this false complaint on the Madurai Adinam, where literally day in and day out, all the sannyasis were serving thousands and thousands of people through Annadam and through medical camps, and as we had seen all the pictures. And every activity which we do was directly contributing to the public at large. So this was the false complaint on the 12th of May 2012, and on the 26th of May 2012, one unknown, like a caste supremacist, Jagatguru Pradaban, he filed a false complaint saying that His Divine Holiness had to be removed as the 293rd Pontiff of Madurai Adinam. So several cases were filed against Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, even though Hindu leaders from more than 54 organizations had supported him, that his coronation is true, it is legal. So that was the brutal attack in Madurai Adinam.
And yeah, I'd like to point out several things here. One, this is an example of how the anti-Hindu militant forces use the sexual objectification of women, and they use that in the media, like trying to show in the media that women are prostitutes, that there's prostitution going on inside of a monastery where we have taken up vows of sannyas, where we've taken up vows of chastity and of service to the whole world, but completely twisting that and portraying that in the media and sexualizing us, objectifying us, and making it an absolute opposite. When a woman stands up to do service to the whole world, volunteers and wants to do service, this is how they portray in the opposite way, and not only file cases but also portray in the media, so that the public view is an absolutely opposite um, uh, frame or image that is portrayed to the whole world, thus literally assassinating the character of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and all of the women sannyasis. And it's like, and thus all after that, then justifying the attacks that they do, the rapes and assault that they do against the women, just with this, just with the media, talk, and then what the campaigns in the media have been speaking about and spreading hate speech about the women of inside the Adinam. And not only that, they use the legal cases as well as the media hate speech that is being spread in order to justify the subsequent violent attacks against sannyasis of the Nithyananda order. And in Madurai also, we saw several different attacks where literally our sannyasis were hospitalized. Even the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had to intervene and go to the hospital to ensure that the sannyasis were healed and being taken care of. And even the destruction of the properties, like the cars, they were thrashed and like literally stones pelted into the cars, the property of the Adinam, property of Kailasa. What had really, honestly, we have to ask ourselves, what had provoked this violence when we're doing so much of good inside, when we're doing so much of good and we're we're successfully reviving an indigenous Hindu kingdom. The way that the anti-Hindu militant forces had literally conspired and strategized these attacks in order to ultimately oppress the Hindu kingdom, continue further, and ensure that the work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was delayed and could not be done. As you can see here, this is some of the most brutal staged mobs of the anti-Hindu militant forces. They literally send these henchmen and these people to attack the sannyasis, and then in the media they'll try to portray as if there is hatred, there is so much of public outcry in quotes against the sannyasis, whereas the truth is they sent their henchmen and they're hired people in order to literally cause so much of havoc, violate the sannyasis and sannyasinis, and literally put them in the hospital.
Yes, so here you could see the visual where two sannyasis at the Madurai Adinam's Kanjanur Agnishwara temple, it's a part of the Madurai Adinam, the Shyamlapeta Sarvajna Peetham. So a mob of at least 100 people, they beat up the sannyasis and they escaped, but the mob, they smashed their car, and the two sannyasis, they managed to drive away. And first they ran to the first local police station, and then they filed a complaint, and then they went to the hospital. They themselves got admitted. So that was the sad pictures. You can see the visuals, how the people, the mobs are beating up the sannyasis and then attacking the sannyasis just for the good which we had done to the public.
And a really disheartening thing here is that in the heart of the whole Hindu civilization, in Madurai itself, the anti-Hindu, such amount of oppressive power, such a supremacist oppressive power, where they can conspire these attacks, and we're literally powerless to stop it. As you can see here, some of the really heart-wrenching photographs of the sannyasis who were hospitalized and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism attending to them personally.
Yes, this is on the 30th of May 2012 when His Divine Holiness and the 292nd Pontiff they were traveling back from the same Kanjanur temple. And literally, before this attack happened, they had confronted their vehicle, and the police actually they pretended to stop the mobs. But the assassins they dragged the devotees, though these are two devotees, they were named Senthil Kumar and Muthukrishnan, out of the escort vehicle. They beat them brutally while His Divine Holiness and Second Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the 292nd Pontiff had literally just escaped from the attack. So these were the two people who were actually beaten up by the mobs when the attack was happening.
And would it be possible, Mahatma Priya Swami, if you can share a little bit about what was going on inside of the Adinam? Were all of you afraid of what's going to happen next of a different raid? I know you yourself personally have been through the attacks in 2010, and you know the power that these anti-Hindu militant forces have, and they will go to any extent to make sure that what they want is done. So can you share a little bit about what was going on inside as a woman, as a female sannyasi? What was happening inside of the Adinam? Okay, it seems like we have a technical difficulty. And I just like to share with all of the viewers also, once again, that the attacks against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism that happened surrounding the revival of the ancient Hindu indigenous kingdom, the Kailasa known as the Shamala Pita Sarvajna Pitam, was literally a brutal forced attack that was destroying once again, one of the most ancient Adinams, one of the most ancient heritage sites and heritage structures of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as we had explained before, in just a matter of a few weeks after his coronation, crime rates in the surrounding area of the kingdom had gone down. The restoration of temples had started. The people were being fed free food every single day. Medical camps were going on. A surrounding population of 10,000 people was being attended to, and they were feeling so uplifted by the presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Yet, there was so much of brutal onslaught that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had to undergo. Why does this have to happen? What were the intentions of these anti-Hindu militant forces? And not only that, they have specific agenda against Hinduism. If you even see in the writ petitions that they have filed, and just previously we had seen the writ petitions that they had filed, how they were attacking specific Hindu rituals, Hindu traditions, saying that the holy water that we are distributing, that we are offering to the divine, and also then distributing as prasada, taken and drunken immediately, the holy water was mixed or spiked with alcohol. Can you imagine if this was said against any other religion? If this was said in any other circumstance, this is a direct, just hurting the religious sentiments. How can they take something so pure, something so sacred as a Hindu sacred ritual that is ongoing, the offering of waters to the feet of the Guru and the feet of the deity, and then taking that as prasada? But they abused that, and they literally twisted that and made it seem as though there was some crime happening there. This is what we have to address in the entirety, in the fights that in the entire persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, that it's directly because the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving Sanatana Hindu Dharma. It's directly against the Hinduism and against Hinduism as an entirety. It's not just the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism that they want to attack, but entire Hinduism in as a whole, that they want to demolish and they want to eradicate completely. In the surrounding community of Madurai, even though it is the Madurai Adinam and the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam is surviving until today, still there's so much of corruption inside that makes the temple functions and the temple administration, all of that ultimately not benefit the temple ecosystem and making the temple ecosystem weaker and weaker. And because the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had been coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, Hindus in the whole ecosystem were feeling so much of hope that finally there would be some hope that Madurai could be the civilization that it once was. And that there was hope that that there was going to be so much of revival of the sacred Hindu practices and the ecosystem of Madurai. However, we have seen continuously how this attack against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has only worsened and worsened. Now today, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam despite so much of attack again in Madurai, and the services are continuing today as the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam. Many of you know, and you can even see the activities continuously being shared across on social media and being shown into the international audience, where when an Adinam about Hinduism, the oldest Adinam, was not even known to the outer world, to the whole of the world, and the history was covered and made invisible by anti-Hindu forces. Because of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, today the whole world recognizes the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam as an ancient Hindu indigenous kingdom that was sovereign in its own right. Now this brings us to a conclusion of today's segment on the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the Hindu Holocaust. This entire month we are bringing awareness and we are speaking on the Hindu Holocaust and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has literally been on the forefront of this of the attacks against Hinduism as a whole. And today, he is the last hope for the revival of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. So I request each and every one of the viewers, take a few minutes to go to the link below and see how the United Nations has recognized the persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and the Human Rights Commission of the United Nations has actually listed Kailasa as among the persecuted communities and has recognized the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the amount he has been reviving the ancient Hindu indigenous kingdoms. He has been protecting the rights of Hindu women and minority Hindu women, and he has and the amount of persecution he has been through just for this. Please go to this link, explore on your own, and share this to all of everyone that you know. And we'll now be entering into the next segment of today's program. We're continuing also with the explanations of the persecution of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism after a very quick break.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Nityananda? Nityanandam. So now we'll be continuing on to the next segment of today's program, the Nithyananda Satsang from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. After that, you can join us for the Power Manifestation segment, where you can practice and play with the powers of Paramashiva. So now, thank you for attending to this program. We'll now be continuing into the next segment of today's program, the Satsang by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And then we'll be concluding today's program. Thank you, Nityananda.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
என்னப்பனல்லவா என்னப்பனல்லவா எந்தாயுமல்லவா எந்தாயுமல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா என்னப்பனல்லவா எந்தாயுமல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா என்னப்பனல்லவா எந்தாயுமல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளித்தவா ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலில் நன்மை வென்று நீலை நின்றிட ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் நன்மை வென்று நீலை நின்றிட சீடான பாவம் பழி நீங்க பெரு வாழ்வினே கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நிகவா சீடான பாவம் பழி நீங்க பெரு வாழ்வினே கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நிகவா என்னப்பன் 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 அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் காலில் தன்னை வென்ற நீரை நின்றிட ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நீரை நின்றிட சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்க பெரும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நிறவா சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்க பெரும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நிறவா என்னப்பன் 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 அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலில் தன்னை வென்ற நீரை நின்றிட ஏழாம் உடல்கள் தாண்டி நித்திய வாழ்வும் கண்டிட கேடான காலம் தன்னை வென்ற நீரை நின்றிட சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்க பெரும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நிறவா சீரான பாவம் பழி நீங்க பெரும் வாழ்வினை கொண்டாட நித்யானந்த ஸ்புரணம் தன்னை நிறவா என்னப்பன் 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 அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா என்னப்பன் அல்லவா என் தாயும் அல்லவா தன்னை உணர்த்திடும் தியானம் அளிக்கவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா எங்கும் நிறைந்தவா எண்ணம் கடந்தவா பொங்கும் அருவியாய் ஆனந்தம் தந்தவா
தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தன் வந்து உதித்தான் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தன் வந்து உதித்தான் காக்கும் இறையே நட்டின் உருவாய் வந்த கழிப்பால் கட்டு கடங்கா மகிழ்வு கொண்டேன் மலை போல் வரும் துயர் யாவையும் துடிப்போதினில் கொடியாக்கிட புயலாய் வருவான் துணையென வருவான் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தன் வந்து உதித்தான்
ஓம் நித்யானந்தேஸ்வர பரமசிவ சமாரம்பாம் நித்யானந்தேஸ்வரி பரமசக்தி மத்யமாம் அஸ்மதாச்சார்ய பர்யந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம். I welcome you all with my love and respect. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Shri Mahans, Mahans, Kotari, Tanedar, visitors, viewers, Sarvanyapita Kartas, Ejamans, manifestors, Sarvaparityagis. I welcome all of you with my love and blessings. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Listen. Ferociously, not softly, not politely, not mildly, but ferociously breaking the obsessive, compulsive, reactionary patterns. Ferociously, reactionary pat very carefully. Then I'll translate. Listen. முதல்ல உடம்பு வளையறதுனால உடம்ப சரி பண்றதுனால மனச சரி பண்றது ஹடயோகம். ஜடம் சிற்ஜட கிரந்தி மேல் வேலை செய்வது. பிறகு மனச நிமித்தினாலே உடம்ப நிமித்திர முடியும்னு புரிஞ்சிக்கிறது தியான யோகம். சித்தோட பவர சக்திய கிரந்தி மேல செலுத்தி ஜடத்தை மாற்றுவது. பிறகு சித் மலர்ந்தாலே கிரந்தி ஜடம் இந்த ரெண்டுமே நம் விருப்பத்தின்படி இயங்கும்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறது யோகம், சமாதி யோகம். Now I'll translate. Listen. First, initially bending the body. By bending the body, you can bend your mind. Learning that is Hatha Yoga. Then, by bending the mind, learning that you can change your body is dhyana yoga. Then, realizing by bending your consciousness, playing with your consciousness itself, you can change the mind and the body is samadhi yoga, the ultimate yoga. Listen. Then, after a few days, I had the opportunity to have darshan of Arunagiri Yogeshwara. That time, I was asking him some clarification. Beautifully, Arunagiri Yogeshwara explained to me. I'll repeat again the exact statement. That's the way I've seen many times Arunagiri Yogeshwara used to address me. படிப்படியா பண்ணா சாத்தியங்கள் மலரும்பா, ஒரேடியா உடைச்சாத்தான் சக்திகள் மலரும்பா. I'll translate this word. Listen. See, if you break your patterns step by step, slowly, you will achieve the great possibilities. But if you break the patterns ferociously, only then you manifest powers. Very beautifully he told me. See, if you do yoga every day, one day you do 10 Surya Namaskar, next day you make it into 25, then you make it into like 50 Surya Namaskar, then you add Surya Namaskar and Pranayama, then you add Surya Namaskar and Pranayama and meditation. This way you will manifest your possibilities. But if you break the patterns, not step by step, just in one stroke, ferociously, you manifest powers, not just possibility. See, body flexibility, muscle building, able to do rope yoga, pole yoga, all these are possibilities. But straight levitation is a power, not just possibility. There's a difference between possibility and power. Listen. Every time you break your patterns step by step, you manifest possibilities. Whenever you break your patterns ferociously, you just manifest powers. You just manifest power. Listen, I tell you. Please listen, I tell you. Understand? I'll repeat now. All of you intensely listen. For example, yes, I think people are able to see and hear. Let me repeat now. Whenever you break your patterns, the obsessive, compulsive, reactionary patterns, whenever you break those patterns in you ferociously, you manifest powers. I tell you, this really happened. One person came to me with rheumatoid arthritis problem. It was very severe. The fingers have started getting twisted, and the effect of the disease is seen even physically, not just in the form of pain alone. The body started getting distorted. I sat with that person and spoke to the person to understand the source, obsessive compulsive reactionary pattern of her which triggered this disease in her. Please understand. All diseases are triggered inside you due to some compulsive reactionary pattern. So I wanted to study for 10 minutes her anger towards mother-in-law and how she gets triggered by mother-in-law and how it has become a very powerful on somebody else and does this. Just the person outside is replaced, but the pattern and the vicious circle continues. I thoroughly studied her within that few minutes. If you straight go from today, you are going to see Paramashiva in her. No question of if I fall at my mother-in-law's feet, crumple me under her feet and jump on me and kill me. She will manipulate me, exploit me. My life will be hell. I will be a slave. All these are the cousin brothers of your obsessive, compulsive, reactionary pattern. Please understand, this obsessive, compulsive, reactionary pattern, when it gets cultured in you, it creates its own fears, insecurity, jealousy, guilt, self-harms. It becomes literally like a Brahma Rakshas ghost possessing you. And naturally, if you have to go and fall at the feet of mother-in-law and surrender, you will feel, no, she is going to exploit me. The death is much fears, emotions, insecurities, self-doubt, self-denial. So much will come up. But if you are capable of breaking all of that, I told her, think levitation. I asked, or levitate you want for me? I said, I'm too devoted. See, there are some devotees and disciples throw tantrum. I just know they are just throwing tantrum, but they don't mean what they say. I'll give you one or two examples. If she tries to argue, some arguments, if she tries to bring it to me, I will never answer her argument. I said, relax, keep quiet, do what I am saying. That's all. That's the end of all the arguments. After that, there is no question of any argument. Same way, Pranapriya. If she tries to bring any arguments, this is a judgment, execute. She will just do it. A frog which got 1 rupee coin newly wanted to check the power of the money it got. So the elephant was going outside house, came out of that frog hole and standing, waving that 1 rupee coin towards the elephant and saying, hey, now I become so rich. You are crossing a rich man's house without saluting the rich man. Will the shouting of frog, even if he hears, he'll say, hey, keep quiet. And he will walk. Exactly same way. If you treat your patterns, you will manifest powers. That person with that rheumatic arthritis, she's seeing me only first time attending the program, but before even seeing me physically and devoted, very sincere. So I told her, naturally, I want power for you, not just the possibility. She asked me that, do you want me to manifest possibility or powers? I said, naturally, powers, not just possibilities. I want the best for you. Within next 48 days, she manifested the power of levitation, complete healing of rheumatoid arthritis. I don't want to name that person because I will bring that person to the pre-satsang hosting. She will come and share. She actually did. She went. And fell at the feet of the, saying that I am not even going to justify where I am right, where I am wrong, where you are right, where you are wrong. Just I am dropping the past. From now, I am going to see you as Paramashiva. See, if she went and did completion, with her mother-in-law, body, but when she broke that obsessive, compulsive, reactionary pattern, with all its self-hatred, self-denial, everything, she just manifested not just possibility, she just manifested power. Not only she got healed of the whole rheumatoid arthritis problem, the whole body got filled so much with samana energy, she started experiencing levitation. I tell you, listen, I tell you, this one statement, take it very sincerely. Even once you behave with your obsessive, compulsive, reactionary pattern ferociously and break one pattern and manifest powers, the kind of the courage you will feel, you will straight walk towards enlightenment. Because after that, every obstruction, every barricade, every stopping will look very funny. It will look very funny. Ma Nitya Jalandhara Siddhananda. 55. The root of our reactionary compulsive patterns. See, I can tell for you, self-hatred is your reactionary compulsive pattern. From today, eat well, sing, dance, celebrate. Be very clear. Paramashiva is enjoying through you. All your problems will be solved. You have so much of hatred towards anything, almost like a tumor in you. Break that. Eat well, sing, dance, do anything which makes you happy, which does not destroy your health. That's all. You will be free. Compulsive reactionary patterns. This answer is for her. So this word is a Guru walk for her. Don't take this as a Guru walk for all of you. Guru walk is usually customized, exactly precise instruction to that person for manifesting enlightenment. It's for her. Swati Yamman is asking, Swamiji, what about all the wrong they have done? All the pain they have caused? Can forgive but can't forget. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. You continue to exist as slum pig, dirty buffalo, as long as you don't want to get out of your drain and the shitty surroundings. The moment you decide to get out of your shitty surroundings and the dirt pit, the moment you decide to get out, you raise yourself to the level of God. If you decide to forgive, that is enough To liberate yourself, you are not expected to forget. I am not expecting you to forget. Even if you decide to forgive, that is enough. When internally, consciously you change, simply the other person's action, reaction, everything changes in just few days. The other person will feel insecure that you may start getting back to your anger, violence. So just till the other, see, when you go and surrender to your mother-in-law, I am giving you this example. She may have 1 or 2 days insecurity. No, now she is behaving like this. I don't know, maybe this woman is drugged. And after a few days, she may become same old daughter-in-law. Who knows? That insecurity she may be having, and that few days she will be reluctant. But once she is convinced you are changed, simply she will be changed. That is the way I won many wars in my life. I tell you. Many people who declared war on me, I won in all those wars just by not declaring war on them back. Just through that simple only forgiving, not even forgetting, forgiving, I won many wars in my life. So if you just forgive honestly with integrity, you will manifest powers. It's possible. Listen. In the example I gave the solution of falling at the feet of the mother-in-law because that was the problem of her. I am not telling all of you just go and fall at the feet of mother-in-law, you will start levitating. No. I gave you the story example. The lesson you need to catch is first find out what is your compulsive reactionary behavior pattern. Break that ferociously. You may even have 10, 12 patterns. List them out and break them ferociously. That's it. That's it. Listen. Each one of you is literally my extension. The life which is in all of you and the life which is inside me, all of us are extension of the same source, Paramashiva. With the tremendous love from the oneness, It's like in India, in kindergarten schools, the kids will be forcibly made to sleep during the noon time after food. All of you have to just lie down in a row, and naturally kids, when they have so many friends, they don't want to sleep, they want to play. But kids have to rest. It's a rest time. So the kids will keep one eye closed and watch through one eye whether the PT teacher who is in charge of making the kids rest, the moment the teacher steps out of the classroom, one kid will get up and wake all the other kids. And they will all have fun, jump, make the whole classroom upside down. Because they know the teacher will take at least half an hour to go and have her lunch and come back. That half an hour, these kids will have fun, make the whole classroom upside down. And the moment they know she is coming back, they will all be just back to their place, sleeping as if nothing happened. How? The kid, the moment he knows the teacher is out, he wakes up and he wakes all the kids to have fun with the same love. I am waking all of you up. Hey, come on, let's enjoy. Teacher is gone. All your patterns, obsessive, compulsive, reactionary patterns, are not worthy. Life, Paramashiva's powers are only worthy to manifest, celebrate, enjoy. Listen carefully. Listen intensely. Unable to build collective integrity is just because of your obsessive, compulsive, reactionary pattern. Understand? Whatever stops you building collective integrity is your obsessive, compulsive, reactionary pattern. Sit and pen down what stops you building collective integrity around you. Behave ferociously with those patterns. You usually behave ferociously with the people, not with the patterns. Behave ferociously with the patterns. Behave cutely with the people. Very cutely with your patterns. every time you behave ferociously with your patterns and break, you manifest at least one power of Paramashiva. Listen. To behave ferociously with your pattern, you don't need anything other than feeling connection or trust on me, because the trust you have on me will naturally manifest as the courage to execute my words. That is the way I manifested Paramashiva. See, my extreme love for my gurus, my extreme love for my gurus. I'll tell you one small incident. One day, I took lunch for Arunagiri Yogeshwara. He ate, and after eating, I was sitting next to him. I used to be so attached to him. I picked up his left hand. In his left hand, the little finger used to have a long nail. Many fingers had a long nail. I picked up his little finger, and through that fingernail, I was cleaning my teeth. And he is such a sweet person. Not only he did not stop me, and not even showing any irritation or any difficulty in his face. I was just having his left hand in that little finger, that nail I was using, and cleaning the teeth. He was talking something about mukti, goal of life, all that. I was deeply listening, and the same way using his left hand little finger nail, and not that I did not cut the nail. With the holding the whole finger, I was cleaning my teeth using his little finger nail. I'll try to exactly repeat the whole flow of the information from Akashic records so that all of you can understand. He asked me, what you understand as mukti, liberation? Because he was teaching me about goal of life is mukti, liberation. I told him that I should become one with Arunachaleshwara. Arunachala is the word I know as the ultimate. So I told him that I should become one with Arunachala. He said, okay, after that, what do you think should be your goal? I don't know what far he was leading me into the conversation. Maybe he was making me spell out more and more words, giving me clarity. So I told him that if I become one with Arunachala, whoever remembers me will be naturally remembering Arunachala, so they will also get liberated. Because Smaranat Mukti Arunachalam. At the time when I uttered this, he had a wide smile in his face. I was holding his left hand and cleaning my teeth and talking and cleaning, and with the right hand, with his right hand, he just held my cheeks. How the kids, we hold the cheeks of the kids and conjify. He held and shook my face and said, Tatastu, Tatastu, Tatastu. Blessed me. And I could see very clearly that very blessing entered into the whole being and started manifesting. Not only as my liberation, me becoming one with Paramashiva, Arunachaleshwara, and liberated. Anyone remembers me, remembers Arunachaleshwara. So I am only just a symbol of Arunachaleshwara. I am just one stone of Arunachala hill, that's all. Or one small tree. We should not even say small tree. Anything in Arunachala is great, uncomparable. One tree or one small, so I should not even, again, I should not use the word small. A stone or a tree or sand, dust of Arunachala. That's all. Listen. My love and feeling connection with my Guru and Guru Parampara gave me the strength, courage, sacrifice needed to break all the patterns and never allow any pattern to get built which can bind me in any way. Guru Bhakti as a direct utility value. I tell you, I have seen thousands of cases. The moment they lose their Guru Bhakti, all the great ferociousness, powerfulness they had and broken their compulsive reactionary patterns, that whole strength they lose when they lose Guru Bhakti and fall back into that patterns, and even voluntarily they attract that patterns and say, wow, so many years I did not eat onion, green chili, garlic because of this fellow. Let me go and eat even meat. Okay, go and eat meat. Who is the loser? Not me. I tell you, when you gain Guru Bhakti, it is not just Guru Bhakti. Millions of good things comes to you along with Guru Bhakti. Same way, when you lose Guru Bhakti, millions of things go away from you. Millions of good things go away from you along with Guru Bhakti. When Sonnavannam Seida Perumal walked out of Kanchipuram, it is not just Perumal walked out of the Kanchipuram, Lakshmi walked out along with Perumal. Bhudevi walked out along with Perumal. All the auspiciousness, Mangalatva, all the best thing, everything walked out along with Perumal. Kubera walked out. I tell you. When Sonnavannam Seida Perumal came back to Kanchipuram, everyone, all the auspicious energies came back. When he walked out of Kanchipuram, all the best things walked out. Same way. Listen. When Guru Bhakti comes to you, all the best things in the life comes to you. When Guru Bhakti leaves you, all the best things in the life leaves you. Because Guru Bhakti has too many wonderful things. Guru Bhakti is not just Guru Bhakti, it is Paramashiva Shakti. It is Jnana Yukti. That is why I insist so much on reading Guru Gita and chanting Guru Gita. Because reading Guru Gita and chanting Guru Gita gives you the intense Guru Bhakti and all the other auspiciousness, good things associated with Guru Bhakti. See, people with Guru Bhakti will not have any problem in breaking their compulsive reactionary patterns. For example, many people come to me and say that I have this eating disorder. I eat like anything. And then suffer. Again, eat. See, if they have a deep feeling connection with me, extreme Guru Bhakti, the straight solution I'll give. Start dry fasting. Eat only one meal a day. Only when you have that one meal, you can drink water. Only once a day, you will open your mouth for food and water. After that, full other 23.5 hours, do the dry fasting. But I will not give the same solution for a common visitor, for this curiosity monger, or who try to poke, who try to do this trial and error with me. All these games, let me see whether he works out for me or not. No dating. I am not available for any dating. No. All this kind of people, I will never give that solution. I will tell them, you please practice Nirahara Samyama. Slowly, you reduce 10 meal into 9.5 meal. And after 1 month, you reduce 9.5 meal into 9 meal. And after 1 month, you reduce 9 meal into 8 meal. By the time bloody, you will lose all inspiration and go back to 12 meal. So that is your fate. What can I do? What can I do? Salali, salali, jalali, 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 jalali. You walk, you walk, you walk. What can I do? See, when you have a deep Guru Bhakti, and I say, hey, just drop this whole thing, go for only one meal a day, do dry fasting whole day, even your body will alter itself because of its love for me. The listening will not be just your heart, even your stomach will listen to me. Even your stomach will listen to me. Not just heart. I tell you, in my life, I have seen 200 people living more than 100 years. In all the 200 people, a common practices, few practices I have seen, the Jain food lifestyle. Jains eat very little. That also only when the sun is up, not after sunset. The Jain food lifestyle. And Lingayats food lifestyle. Veerashaiva Lingayats, they eat only once a day after the puja. Many of the great Lingayat sannyasis I have seen in my life. Only once a day they will eat after the puja. After that, neither water nor food. Many people whom I have seen in my life who lived more than 100 years have this pattern of less food habit. Less quantity but good organic quality food. I tell you, Guru Bhakti is like a spiritual entanglement, that umbilical cord connection. I myself eat only once a day. My very bio memory of the tejas, that very energy, very bioenergy enters into your being because of your Guru Bhakti, and you vibrate in that same high frequency, and simply that becomes too easy for you also. Ferociousness is not anger. Anger is pattern. Ferociousness is power. Listen. I expressed so many different thought currents in yesterday's satsang. About collective integrity, beautiful story of how the Brahma Kapala swallowed the Sudarshana Chakra, and how the Kalabhairava, wearing the skull mala, Brahma Kapala mala, I explained various concepts. And I also told you yesterday that today's satsang, I'll explain how the collective integrity manifesting collective integrity will help you, save you from this pandemic. I remember once, see, one of my guru, Narayana Guru, Narayana Swami, all the unresolved crimes by the police, the main town police station, all the office, 30 years before, they know this Narayana Swami Tata whom I am talking about. This Tata is instrument for building a Devi temple in Unnamulayamman temple. Devi, this Swami, Narayana Swami, was responsible for it. And that is a separate story. I'll tell that story later. Now, you listen to this Narayana Swami Tata's Leelas and few things. All these police people will come to him for resolving all the unresolved crimes. He will use his powers and give all the details, where that criminal is hiding, where that thief is sitting, where that he will tell very clearly who has murdered, how the murder happened, and police will go and solve the crimes. One day, one person caught in a crime, not because he did a crime, but he was in a wrong place with the wrong people. So his friends took him, saying that, come on, let's go for rounds to roam around. Without telling this person, they are all planning for committing a crime. They just took him like a company. But when they went there, they all committed the crime, which the team committed the crime. This fellow went there without knowing that the plan was a crime. And this fellow was a devotee of this Narayana Swami. His name, that person's name, I still remember, Sivan Pillai. That Sivan Pillai is a devotee of Narayana Swami Tata. That Sivan Pillai was called by his friends, come on, let's go for a trip. They took him. But his friends did not tell that they are planning to commit certain crime and they are taking this fellow along with them for that crime. Because that gang which was planning for a crime, they know this Tata will tell all the truths to the police and the police will arrest them. But if Tata's devotee is part of their gang, the Tata may save that gang to save his devotee. That was the plan. So they took this Sivan Pillai with them and committed the crime. The Sivan Pillai did not participate in the crime, but he was part of the team. He ran back to Tata, Narayana Swami Tata, and begged that they are going to commit this crime and they just took me with them. Even though I have not done the crime, but I was part of that team when the crime was committed. Tata said only one thing. All right, go and sit. He particularly mentioned one cave in Arunachaleshwara hill. In the Arunachala hill, he said, go and sit in that cave. Don't come out of it. You will get the food inside the cave. As long as the food comes to you, don't come out. Eat, stay, don't worry, don't come out. This fellow is such an obedient disciple, he went and did the same. As usual, the police came to Tata to resolve this crime. And Tata gave all the instruction and he showed all the team fellows and all of them got arrested other than his devotee. Those fellows got arrested and put in jail. I was seeing the whole scene, means when the devotee Sivan Pillai came and cried to him. I think that Sivan Pillai must be still alive in Thiruvannamalai. Because at that time he was 30 maybe. So now he may be 70 or 60s. He may be still alive. I'll tell our autobiography team to go and interview him and bring him to Pre-Satsang hosting if he is still alive. He can narrate the whole incident. Police came and reported the crime and he resolved the whole crime and everything. I asked Tata, you could have just saved Sivan Pillai because he did not commit the crime. He was only in the scene. If you did not tell his name, that's enough. Police is not going to go and arrest him. Why did you tell him to go and sit in the cave? Then Tata told me, hey, illada thambi. He told me in Tamil. I'll tell exactly in Tamil and then translate. Illada thambi. அவனுக்கு பந்தனம் இருக்குடா, அதனால பந்தனத்தை பந்தன யோகமா மாத்தத்தான் குகைக்குள்ள போய் உட்காந்து தியானம் பண்ண சொல்லிட்டுண்டா. அவனுக்கு பிரச்சனை சால்வ் ஆயிருச்சு. மீன்ஸ் he was supposed to get arrested in the graha situation. He has the jail. Instead of jail, he changed it into bandhana yoga, means withdrawal from society, and he was meditating, and the same punishment is now used. See, if he has gone to jail, he would have been physically, mentally broken, lost all the best things he had in his life. But Bandhana got converted into Bandhana Yoga by Guru's grace, and he got all the best things in the life. He got powers, blessings of the Guru, got saved from the jail and all the other instead of all the worst. The Guru's grace. Guru Bhakti. And that, whatever Guru said, he did not say, oh, how will I get food? How will I get water? How will I go for 1, 2, 3? He did not ask any of that questions. He just went and sat in that cave, did not come out. And even I don't know how many days he was there and how he managed 1, 2, 3. I know for sure after that he was very healthy. And he did not have any legal or any problem. And he started even manifesting powers because he obeyed the Guru's words. The possibility of bandhana became converted into bandhana yoga. Bandhana Shaba got converted into bandhana yoga by Guru's grace. Guru can change everything. I should say, listening to Guru can change everything. More than Guru can change everything. Listening to Guru can change everything. From Tiruvannamalai, if he is still alive, he can share exactly the crime number, exact year when that crime happened. And how he got saved, all the details. More details he can give. All you guys just sit. After attending that Arunachala Smaranam, I am feeling that intense samadhi manifesting. Just sit and enjoy Arunachala. I'll sit with you guys for some time. Enjoy Arunachala Smaranam, and experience liberation.
அண்ணாமலையம் அண்ணா போற்றி, கண்ணாரமுதக் கடலே போற்றி. விரிபுறம் எரித்த விரிசடை கடவுள் தேரில் ஏறி வருகின்றான். திருவண்ணா அருளுரு ஆயிரம் காட்டிய நாதன் அம்மையப்பனாய் வருகின்றான். கைலை மேவிய உமையொரு பாகன் அருளை வாரி வருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். குருவாய் திருப்பெருந்துறையில் அருளிய கோலம் காட்டி வருகின்றான். திருவாய் மலர்ந்து வேதம் உரைத்த திருவாசகத்தான் வருகின்றான். மதுரை மாநகர் குதிரை சேவகன் மறுபடி ஒரு முறை வருகின்றான். கைலை மேவிய உமையான் அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். பிட்டுக்காசை பட்ட கூலியான் பாதம் பதித்திட வருகின்றான். பாட்டுக்காசை பட்ட தம்பிரான் பார்வதியுடனே வருகின்றான். பக்தி காசை பட்ட எம்பிரான் பசுபதீஸ்வரன் வருகின்றான். கைலை மேவிய உமையொரு பாகன் அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். பன்றிக்கன்று தாய்முலை தந்த பரமதயாளன் வருகின்றான். பன்றிக்கரியை உண்டு மகிழ்ந்த குடுமித்தேவன் வருகின்றான். பரிந்து வந்து பிரசவம் பார்த்த தாயுமானவன் வருகின்றான். கைலை மேவிய உமையொரு பாகன் அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்ற வீதி விடங்கன் வருகின்றான். அமர் நீதிக்காக அடியார் கோலம் பூண்டவன் மீண்டும் வருகின்றான். திருவிளையாடல் பல புரிந்தவன் திருவீதி வலம் வருகின்றான். கைலை மேவிய உமையொரு பாகன் அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். தக்கன் வேள்வி தகர்த்த வீர பத்திரநாதன் வருகின்றான். சொக்கன் மதுரை சோமசுந்தரன் அற்புதமாக வருகின்றான். திருமாலறியா மலர்ச்சேவடியான் திருமானேந்தி வருகின்றான். கைலை மேவிய உமையொரு பாகன் அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். ஆலமுண்ட திருநீலகண்டன் உமைபாகனாக வருகின்றான். ஆலால சுந்தரன் பாடியவாறே காலகாலனாய் வருகின்றான். கருவேர் அறுத்து கருணை பொழியும் கைலையம்பிரான் வருகின்றான். கைலை மேவிய உமையொரு பாகன் அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அண்ணாமலையான் வருகின்றான். அருளை வாரி தருகின்றான். அடியார் உள்ளத்து அன்புக்காக அம்பலவானன் மழபாடி திருமாணிக்கத்தான் மண்ணில் நடந்து வருகின்றான். கைலை மேவிய உமையொரு தருகின்றான் அண்ணா. ஹர ஹர சிவ சிவ ஹர ஹர சிவ சிவ நாமம் பாடி ஆடிடுவோம். அவன் அருளாலே அவன் தாழ் வணங்கி அவனடி நிழலை அடைந்திடுவோம். ஹர ஹர சிவ சிவ 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 ஹர 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 சிவ சிவ ஹர ஹர சிவ சிவ ஹர ஹர சிவ சிவ.
அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நேரி அருளவே நித்யனாய் உலகிற்கு வந்தம்மை ஆட்கொள்ள தேவர்களை காத்திட வைத்தான் தாயாய் பேரருள் புரிய உடல் ரோமம் சிலிர்த்திட நித்யனாய் வந்து அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நேரி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் திருவண்ணாமலை பிறந்தான். பர தத்துவம் கற்பித்த பாரம ஞானியாய் ஞானக்கண் கொடுத்த தமக்கே ரூபம் காட்டிய மாய வித்தை செய்யும் நித்யன் மாய வித்தை செய்யும் நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். விளங்கும் தாண்டும் சிவசக்தியாக ஐம்பொறிகளுக்கும் புலனாகின்ற நித்யன் மெய்ப்பொருளான நித்யனை ஆழ்ந்து சிந்திக்க ஐயனின் ரூபம் விளங்கும் யாண்டும் சிவசக்தியாக ஐம்பொறிகளுக்கும் புலனாகின்ற நித்யன் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் புவி எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நேரி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் திருவண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான். உள்ளும் பூரமும் இருந்து உயிர் பக்குவமாக்கிடும் பரமனாம் நித்யன் ஞானப்பாடி தங்கள் ஏழும் கொண்ட ஞானமும் ஆகிய ஆண்டி நித்யன் உள்ளும் பூரமும் இருந்து உயிர் பக்குவமாக்கிடும் பரமானாம் எண்ணாத யோகமே கொண்டிட நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நேரி அருளவே நித்யனாய் வாக்கியங்களான அருள் கவிதை ஒன்றிடும் நித்யன் அப்த வாக்கியங்களான அருள் கவிதைகள் நித்யனின் மகிமை சொல்லிடும் மகிமை அர்ப்பித்த பின்னே நித்யன் ஈரேழு லோகத்திற்கெட்டா ஈசன் முக்தி நேரி அருளவே நித்யனாய் அண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தான் திருவண்ணாமலையில் பிறந்தார். தனிலே நித்யன் உன்னத தனிலே நித்யன் உன்னத நிலை உலத்தில் வருமே விண்ணவர் மன்னவர் ஒப்பர் அகிலம்.
So with this, I bless you all. Let all of us have the great auspicious punya power. Chala smarana. Smaranat mukti arunachalam. Smaranat mukti arunachalam. Smaranat mukti arunachalam. The great liberation which comes by just remembrance of Arunachala. So with this collective integrity and authenticity and responsibility and enriching causing, living Paramadvaitam, the Shuddhadvaita cyber consciousness and Kailasa of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The eternal bliss Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
श्रीकैलासोन्नतद्वादशान्तश्यामलापीठारूढ श्रीमीना
Nithyanandam, Jnanapatati Manual, under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagatguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasakalam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasudusam Tattamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
all the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift. Playing with life. Playing with being alive.
Beautifully, Bhagavan gave us the powerful cognition. What is power manifestation? It's a cognitive shift from matter to consciousness, that we are consciousness. The science of power manifestation, it's a science because all of us can experience it. It is repeatable. And how each humans can have a superconscious breakthrough, and which is authentic, time-tested, scientific and foolproof. The Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramana are the scriptural references, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and Agamas. The evidences are clearly given that this is a science. Apta Pramana, Aptas, the experience and results of the Aptas. Aptas are the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Namars, Alvars, Siddhas, all of them are authority of Hinduism, manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva, and all the powers are authentic, time-tested, scientific and foolproof. Atma Pramana, the evidences from Bhagavan's life, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar's personal experience of power manifestation, the very Leela. The Leelas are to show us a human can experience the superconscious breakthrough and experience the Paramashiva in each of us. Bhagavan's blessing for the whole humanity. Shakshi Pramana, experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, followers all around the world, manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. Bhagavan beautifully has said, whoever comes to my Kailasa courtyard, manifesting powers, simply I will be there, my presence can be felt and manifest as powers. How Harunagiri Yogeshwara trained Bhagavan, and so beautifully he experienced the Smarnartha Mukti with Arunachala himself. Same way, each one of us, for us to experience that, Bhagavan has given us the breakthrough through the power manifestation session. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. The thoughtless space that everybody can experience, that we can experience and live without thoughts and without the identity that we are carrying for so long. We can live and experience the higher consciousness, and it is already happening in us. All that we need to do is just experience that we are manifesting it. That's all is the beautiful space that Bhagavan is making us and aware of what we are. The Guru's beautiful space to show us who we are, the Paramashiva space in us. Now let's go to the Shastra Pramana. The Shastra Pramana are the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures. Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana, consciousness, Bhairava, one who experiences consciousness beyond the mind, and Tantra is the method. Here Bhagavan gives us the method for us to experience the consciousness, the Paramashiva, the Arunachala space in each of us, Bhagavan space in each of us as our reality. So beautifully Bhagavan gives us the Shastra Pramana for the power of consciousness over matter.
Dharana 95. क्वचित् वस्तुनि विन्यस्य शनैर्दृष्टिं निवर्तयेत् तज्ज्ञानं चित्तसहितं देवी शून्यालयो भवेत् क्वचित् वस्तुनि विन्यस्य शनैर्दृष्टिं निवर्तयेत् तज्ज्ञानं चित्तसहितं देवि शून्यालयो भवेत्.
Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, having once fixed one's eyes on a particular object, Vastu, withdraw the sight from the object, as well as shortly eliminate the knowledge of the object. Along with it, the thoughts and the impression of the object. Then, O Devi, one abides in Sunya, where there is nothing that other than this exists, which is the state of all-inclusiveness or infinity. We become the infinite source of oneness, the ultimate space of oneness. Beautifully, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, once he wanted to teach how he trained Vivekananda. So beautiful that he told Vivekananda to bring Ashtavakra Gita and to him and to read. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa that time did not agree to that, and he did not believe anything other than what mind can perceive. So he said, okay, I will read, but I don't believe it. So he started reading, and he started reading. The Ashtavakra Gita is full of Advaita philosophy. So it starts with a pot of water, and you all are Brahman. Everything is Brahman. When he started reading, he said, this cannot be true, and he kept the book and walked off. And he said, this is not possible. And so beautiful, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa just touched him a little bit, and he experienced that space of oneness for 3 days. When he ate food, he could not differentiate where his body starts, where the food starts, and how the food is going to his body. Everything he started experiencing just one and the same. All Bhagavan is giving us the higher reality, how we exist. When Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he wanted to train the greatest, one of the greatest, all the devotees, he was training Annamalai Swami. Annamalai Swami, he told him to go into a hut, and he stayed there. And once a week, he will come and see Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And then after that, Ramana Maharshi would go there, and he would start seeing him. And after that, even Ramana Maharshi stopped going to train Annamalai Swami. And Annamalai Swami came and asked, why did you stop coming and seeing me? And he was in the hut all the time, cooking, eating, everything in the hut. Like Bhagavan said, how in the cave, the same thing, he trained him there. And when asked the question why he stopped coming, Ramana Maharshi said, you have become an atheist. And he was so shocked. I'm sitting there all the time, and I'm thinking of only Ramana Maharshi, and he's saying atheist. He just listened. He said, you're looking for something which is not there outside, which is there inside. Go look with him. And after that, Annamalai Swami did not get out of the hut at all. Even when Ramakrishna Paramahamsa left his body, he did not get out of this place. He sat and sat. Only Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharshi's ashes was given for him to apply on his body, and he sat there and sat there. And he is one of the greatest guru of the times. He literally resembled Ramana Maharshi. So beautiful, all these great masters, whether Ramana Maharshi or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, sorry for changing their names, both of them have really lived that beautiful space of oneness that Bhagavan is giving to each one of us, making us realize that is true. And that is not some myth or some verbally something that you hear a story and say, okay. So beautifully, he is making that as a reality in us when we manifest powers to see, oh my God, even I am that. That is what happens in each of us when we start having simple integrity, simple obedience, and start manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. That is what Bhagavan has beautifully given all the signs for us. Here it says very beautifully, when you remove the thought about the object, Bhagavan describes, if you know a rose, remove the word rose and then remove the thought of the rose. Anything that you have given, rose, got rose, first time you saw rose, remove that, and knowledge about the rose. The rose is having any perfume smell or any color, rose is beautiful, soft, or you give to a girlfriend, whatever it is, just remove everything. For giving a rose to a spouse, we don't have Shastra Pramana, but we do it and we know what happens. But for all this power manifestation, which is much simpler, we ask for Shastra reference and then don't follow it. The beauty is our mind. When we drop our mind, we'll understand the higher reality. The higher reality is when you remove everything, then what exists? If you remove us in the night, what exists? The deep sleep exists. When you remove us in the dream state, what exists? A dream exists. We are not there. We don't know whether what nationality we are what gender we are, what make we are, whatever it is, we don't know. Whatever in the dream, we think that is reality. In the deep sleep, we think that is reality. Same way, there's a much more higher reality that Bhagavan is taking us into. And removing everything, then what exists? Oh, Devi, you Devi exist. That's what Bhagavan says. Whenever he says, oh, Devi, he's calling each one of us in that beautiful space with such compassion and such a beautiful space. He says, oh, Devi, what that exists is that Sunya, that which the other than this exist, which is the state of all inclusiveness and infinity, where you become infinite. You are not finite by the body that you hold, but or the mind. You become the infinite. You become the Arunachala, Smarnatma Mukti Arunachala. You become the essence. You become the frequency. You become the manifestation of the reality. And everything can happen as a manifestation. Nothing is need to be possessed or nothing is to be kept, but everything can happen out of your just command when you are consciousness. Bhagavan teaches us the science, how we know the dream state, deep sleep state. Now he teaches the science of living as superconscious state. Beautifully in the Mahabharata, Valmiki Ramayana, we have the chapter 50, where it clearly says how Ravana lifted his Vimana, which is silicon, made of the metals and silicon. And he lifted only through the power of consciousness. Just him residing there and raising with just the Mahavakya and flying the machine. That was very much possible that Ravana knew the science. Same way, when we see all the bridges built, now they have the Ramasetu, a huge bridge built, and the only thing that they were able to find out with the logs of wood and such large stones and everything there is only by chanting the Rama Nama. Each and everybody, not just Hanuman, everyone experienced the oneness, including the squirrels, and they were putting the rocks on the riverbed and make a beautiful bridge for Rama to walk on it. Just for Rama, they were able to dedicate their whole space, shifted it, and manifested the power of consciousness over matter. Beautifully, each of us can experience the ultimate reality when we understand the superconscious space. Why we exist on planet Earth is only the conscious sovereignty. That is the only reason why we have come down to experience what would each squirrels and all these animals would have experienced when they built the huge bridge for Rama. That is exactly how Bhagavan feels, each of you manifesting these powers. Beautifully, one Ramana Maharshi was meditating with so many people in a hall, and then one monkey came. A monkey came and tried to take the banana. And Ramana Maharshi always initiated his disciples through just a sight, just his eyes. So when he looked at the monkey, when the monkey took the banana, 5 minutes, it was a recorded space, 5 minutes, the monkey did not move from that place. It kept looking at Ramana Maharshi and Ramana Maharshi kept looking at him. After 5 minutes, the monkey took the banana and he gives a Mahavakya for it. He says very clearly, what on earth is there for you to hold more than this space? And then the monkey leaves. That is to make us understand our mind is like monkey, but monkey itself can stay 5 minutes without movement. We can experience much greater truth just being in the oneness with Paramashiva. Beautifully, Bhagavan here gives us how the Vimana Shastra can be really brought into the reality. Bhagavan says, today I am mapping the Vimana Shastra, super science, and I discover chemicals released in the human body during the flight takeoff release certain chemicals in our body and create certain subtle bioenergy. The same energy is only used as a fuel in the Vimana. Once we are able to rebuild the Vimana structure as per the Hindu Shastra, we won't need any external fuel. Just you need to sit in the Vimana, visualize you are flying, and the chemical released in your body and bioenergy fuel the Vimana and in the Vimana, and it takes off. It is so wild to see how just thoughts and feelings can operate huge machines like Vimana. I also feels humanity need to put more time and energy and study the super science to understand more about Vimana and human consciousness possibility. Please share with all. Bhagavan is giving us in the Nitya Satsang, March 19, 2019. Beautifully he has said how he is creating the Vimana Shastra as reality for all of us. All this great science is going to be truthful. Bhagavan beautifully said how human beings will be flying across the place. And it has been recorded in Tirumular also. Konakar Chandra Nadi is also referring to the same thing, how people in 2030 will be flying and floating in air, and all the great science of humanity will be unfolded really in reality, and the whole world changes into a next conscious breakthrough of reality. Now Bhagavan himself speaks on consciousness.
House, Saraswati is the decider. In Vaishnava's house, the lady keeps the whole wealth under the control. In Shaivite's house, off, energy. It's a thought current and lifestyle. Saraswati. The silicon of Saraswati, if you take and filter the silicon and make the chips, for wherever you need artificial intelligence, it will help you 1,000 times. Let this all be in record. I'll prove all this. You will see. Because these are all chemically awakened, physically manifesting proven biology. It is already, this biology is already used for alchemy, and it has already been established. It is success for all this kind of activities.
So beautiful how the silicon is a mother's energy which starts manifesting in us as powers. It's clearly shown how we can have the power over matter. Here you can see from Shakshi Pramana, from a devotee who has shared the video. This tab is completely off and they have placed a coconut. Coconut is pretty heavy object, and you can see the coconut moving, not just it's just sliding, but it is turning the angle and beautifully moving on the silicon. Coconut is also something we relate to ourselves very much. How we are made 70% water. The coconut also same thing. And a hard shell that we have is the ego that we hold. And same way it has a very hard shell but very soft inside. Beautifully you can see how the power manifestation unfolds here. And all of us now can experience the same oneness. To experience, it is not sliding, that's what they want to show. It's a flat surface, there is no slant or there is nothing. It's a very flat surface, and how beautifully the coconut moved across. And the tab is completely switched off. There's no vibration or any features on the tab. Now, all of us can experience consciousness over matter on silicon. So you can take a coconut or something which is not slippery, which is very stable, and switch off the silicon tab. Silicon is sand and the mother energy and what we are made of, the matter. If we understand that all is one and the same, the Paramashiva space in all of us, the quantum entanglement happens, we will simply be able to command everything as we move. Bhagavan, how beautifully he says, if I can move my hand, I can move the air around it. If I can move the air around it, I can move the stone around it, the air. And that is the Arunachala hill also moves and merges into oneness. If they can move a mountain, moving an object is simply possible. Now take the phone, switch off completely, and have the object very clearly placed. Make sure there is no slant or anything on the ground. Surface should be very flat like they showed in the video. Make sure you are keeping it very nice position that it does not slide off or go by itself. Like if you use Atmalinga, it might slide off. So keep it something like a deity which will beautifully move, rotate and manifest the reality. If you can move it at least by 5 centimeters, like what you saw, it is manifestation of the power, consciousness over matter. Moving these things, what do I gain? You can move all the blocks out in your inner space. The obsessive compulsive reaction patterns gets off, moved, and you experience that is not you. You are consciousness. Whatever you're experiencing, the incompletions in you is not you. It's all the parasites and microbes which are sitting in the body, which is reacting to whatever is there. Bhagavan says the lower 3 chakras, if you have vairagya, you can go beyond that and experience the oneness. All that we need to do is detox the body, starting from the puja and the yoga and the detox, whatever, haritaki, neem juice. Completely your body becomes healed for the higher consciousness to manifest as reality. If you have Jnananjan in your Kantamala, you can apply in your third eye and your temples. If you do not have, you can have the Basma and Kumkum so that you can experience the oneness and detox the third eye. Any Basma or Vibhuti, Kumkum from your temple nearby is perfectly fine, Bhagavan says, as a Aushadha. So turn on your camera. Many have recorded these things, and when they close the eyes, the object moves, and when they open the eyes, it is back to normal. And it's so shocking to see that how it has manifested, but they missed recording. And so don't miss recording, especially for consciousness over matter. So let's get it ready with the instruction. Sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line and continuously hold Paramashiva, his beautiful words, his boons, his blessings, his initiations. Only that, and how he said Arunachala Mukti, Smarnartha Mukti, Arunachala. Just hold that again and again in your inner space. Remembrance is liberation. Remembrance, that which Bhagavan beautifully defines remembrance. That which cannot be forgotten, that which cannot be remembered, but that which remembers you. That is what remembrance Bhagavan defines. Remembrance of Paramashiva in your third eye liberates you into the conscious space. Continuously hold it. We have continuously held all our incompletion, our desires, our fears. Let us hold Paramashiva for few minutes. Put away your gadgets. Okay, your gadgets are anyway switched off. So good. You can keep the deity or paduka or any other object that you want on the silicon. Absolute unclutching. For this session, you are Paramashiva. All of us are gods and goddesses sitting here today experiencing the Paramashiva manifesting as Parashakti. Other than that, we don't have anybody in the session. Hold only that space. All are Paramashiva, Parashakti with 25 heads and 75 eyes and 50 hands, bringing so much of awareness in you. Bring that and vibrate, your whole being vibrating with Maha Vakya. Simply you entangling with Bhagavan should manifest all the reality that you wanted, all the auspiciousness, abundance, healing simply will start manifesting in you as reality. So start holding the deep meditative space that you are just gone through and start manifesting the power of consciousness over matter by chanting the Maha Vakya intensely.
Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eye. Let the Amrita pose, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all our third eye. Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eye. Let the Amrita pose, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all our third eye. Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om 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 Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda.
So beautiful. If you're manifested, take a picture of that. Completely all that we experience, oneness with Paramashiva, that manifests as our reality. The more and more we experience oneness with Paramashiva, Paramashiva will manifest. We take about 25 years to become a doctor or 30 years to become a lawyer, but we have 30 seconds or just 30 minutes. We want to experience the superconscious breakthrough. At least every day when we start experiencing, it's like learning swimming or learning to walk. When you were 1 year old, you might have started little bit putting your steps, and every day you would have fallen at least 100 times. You did not give up. You know that you will walk. That is the first thing you started with. Same way, power manifestation also. You very clearly know that you are going to manifest these powers, superconscious. And without that, you are not getting out of the Kailasa courtyard. That is the space of will persistence which makes it happen. The same thing as swimming. First, you might feel like you're drowning, you're not swimming, and whatever, it takes some time. But if you keep seeing others, it will not still happen. But once you start doing it, you will start understanding that simply you can manifest your reality. Each of these powers is not just moving something on a silicon, but moving all the unconsciousness out and all the blocks out and manifesting our reality. All these power manifestation is not some kid's game, but it's a conscious shift that happens in us and manifest as reality. The higher space, how it exists. When Agastya wanted to create, he just created Lopamudra. When Angambumbai, just from the ashes, the whole space she was created, Angambumbai was created. The whole science is available for all of us. And we just need to create that reality by holding that oneness space with Paramashiva. So let's start chanting the Mahavakya, have another cycle, and intensely entangle with Bhagavan and hold only Bhagavan's words and Bhagavan's visualization as our reality. Let's start chanting for the second cycle and manifest the powers of consciousness over matter.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pores, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us.
Such a beautiful experience for all of us. Powerful cognition, blessings, pre-satsangs and satsangs, and power manifestation. Bhagavan's blessing, initiation, all that Bhagavan is showering on each of us, taking so much of time and effort for each of this to be conducted and put together just for you, just for your super conscious breakthrough. Take 5 minutes of your time. Bhagavan has taken 5 hours to make this conscious space for you. Take 5 minutes to show the gratitude to Bhagavan. Share all this powerful cognition, power manifestation, or whatever you would experience, and thank Bhagavan every single day in tinyurl.com/power manifestation or in your social media, and tag it to your friends and families. Again and again, thanking Bhagavan each day expands us, and sharing all this with billions of people are nothing but your own reflection. When you raise their superconscious space by your clarities and your cognition that you have received as prasada from Bhagavan today, simply will manifest in others, which is collective integrity, and which will completely reduce your obsessive compulsive reactionary patterns and manifest all your auspiciousness, abundance and healing. So beautiful. Bhagavan has given simple methods for us to experience the greatest reality. If you see a $sign at the end of the YouTube, and you can offer your gratitude to Kailasa. All this, when we offer gratitude to Kailasa, simply Kailasa shuffles in our inner space and expand our inner space to conscious space. So beautiful that all of us is being blessed today. Whoever is there till the end is being blessed by Bhagavan for the most auspiciousness and abundance. So thank each and every one of you to hold hundreds of you holding this oneness space and manifesting these powers. So with that, let's surrender to Bhagavan's lotus feet all the powerful cognition and power manifestation. Whenever you manifest, offer everything to Bhagavan's lotus feet so that you will be expanding in your cognition more and more deeply. With that, let's end this session with a Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you so much. See you all again after the next satsang and next darshan. We'll have the Kailash Kotiyar. See you then. Till then, thank you, Nithyanandam.